What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Greetings, wherever you are watching and listening to me from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Just a quick piece for you. This kept coming across my feed in different forms. I keep saying things with Mike Tyson and then this Jake Paul person. I don't know who Jake Paul is, and I don't need to know. I don't care. I do know that he's somebody who has been deliberately elevated and overinflated, because for someone like myself who would not have any reason to intersect with his existence, I know his name and am familiar with his name. I didn't really know what he did, but I know this name, and that's always a sign in this society when someone has been deliberately elevated and placed in front of you to be on your radar. So that's been going on over, I don't know, a couple years, whatever. But this is evil now. This is evil. Because white people are always looking for the great white hope, everybody. They obsess on our greatness and our great ones who stand out. They've stolen that which they could not produce for themselves. They've hidden that which they could not claim. They have impostered themselves in the place of historical figures that would have otherwise been us. They are specious. They are obsessed. They are loathing. They are jealous. And they are evil. There literally is, I think his name was Jack Johnson or something, called The Great White Hope. There was even a movie with James Earl Jones back in the day called The Great White Hope. But the thrust of it is that there was this black boxer who beat everybody, obviously. And they went searching far and wide in the land to try to find someone who could beat this black man. And they could not. This is where we get the terminology, the Great White Hope. So, for all of our Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, George Foreman's, Muhammad Ali, my king, Joe Frazier, on and on we can go. For all of them, suddenly emerged this young, gifted warrior, assassin named Mike Tyson, who wore simply black boxing shoes with no socks, black boxing shorts with no frills or fancy stuff, no glitter, no flair, no special effects, and a very serious haircut with a part on the side. That was Mike Tyson. And he was brutal. He was fast. He was merciless. And he was quick. I remember, I forget who he was fighting. I think it was Buster Douglas. It could have been the other guy with the British accent. I don't remember. But one of my friends' mothers was having a fight party at their condo. And so you got a little dressed up. You put on something nice at least. We showed up. There was food and And literally, you're waiting for the fight to start. This is how long the fight was. After all the preliminaries and all the other pleasantries and the gratuity, this is how long it was. I got up. The kitchen was no less than probably 5 feet from me, just to grab something from a plate or something. And I came back. The time it just took me to tell you that, the fight was over. I was pissed. Because I had put on nice clothes and we had traveled a distance. You think you'll at least be there, like the length. Okay, it may go a little short, but you didn't expect to go to this short. But it was over. And this is who Mike Tyson was, man. But behind the scenes, he was a tortured individual from his childhood, being bullied and all those things. And then when he met this Customato dude, I'll do a whole piece on that. Just basically an old white devil. Again, old white man comes in, seduces black talented African, and makes all the money on them because they have no talent, they have no gifts. Allah has given them nothing. This is why they steal and rape everything from everybody else. Or either they show up as your lawyer, your manager, your agent, your trainer, something like this, your promoter. Here they come. Every celebrity on earth should be, black celebrity on earth should be surrounded by nothing but other black people, from top to bottom, and shut them out completely. We talk about generational wealth all the time, and the areas where we could have it and not put food on their damn tables, we don't do it. We got to be over that. You got to shut this white devil out. Nope, you don't get to make money on us. You don't get to do that. And they get real upset when you do. So it's a deliberate thing that they collude on this. They literally get ass hurt if you have black representation. They didn't like when Usher showed up with his mother. Didn't love that. Did not like that. They didn't like when Tiger Woods showed up with his dad. They got to separate you from your black representation, especially the stinking Zionists. Then they wanted to separate Venus and Serena from their dad. They called him every demon in the book. He's the worst thing that ever lived. We know what they did to Joe Jackson. We could go on and on and on. It's always come and find black talent, since my white ass has none, and let me tell you you're amazing, which you are, but let me make money on you and then rob you blind. You see? So behind the scenes, this Customato person, who sadly Mike Tyson was able to get some sense of guidance and family and relationship out of, he still speaks of him highly to this day. I'm not going to take that away from him. Both things can be true at the same time. And he's the greatest fighter. And by the way, they separated him from Don King. You see? There was Don King with his struck by lightning hair. Only in America. Only in America. And he was a crook. And he ripped Mike Tyson off, sadly. But they wanted to separate him from Mike Tyson. Because white people want it all. They can never be content to just to share with others, have a piece of the pie, and everybody share and be happy. No. They got to have it all. That's why you have them murdering off the people of Gaza right now. Wasn't enough, they could just go there and have a little patch of land and live their white asses someplace and just shut the fuck up. No, they gotta murder you off and take it all. Wasn't enough that Columbus allegedly came here being led by the Moors, black Muslims, who had already navigated the water waves for many hundreds of years before his white ass showed up, showed him how to get here. People were waving from the shore when he got here. Not enough. They had to murder off the natives with their disease and murder and famine and all of it. This is their history. Wild, demon, savage. Can't just be amongst anybody. Exactly a poison and an anthrax in any environment that they're in. All true. All of it. So I digress. They wanted to separate him from Don King, and they did. And Don King didn't do himself any favors. But something else went on behind the scenes, because when he didn't choose a white bitch, we noticed there began to be problems. Then there was the Robin Givens thing. And she was a disaster in her own way. And there was the sexual assault allegation of some heifer that was definitely paid. Anytime you're going up to Mike Tyson's 50-star hotel room after midnight, heifer, you're not there for a consultation. Let's be very clear. You'll recall they pulled this same thing on Tupac Shakur. Again, a hotel room after hours at a time when nobody should be anywhere. You see, but there began to be this witch hunt that they were doing to Mike Tyson. You also need to know the atmospherics of the time. At this particular time, because we are the greatest people on the earth, it's us, not these stinking people with hook noses from Europe and Poland and Germany, claiming they're some special class of people. No, it's us. It's us. And so at this particular time, we had Mike Tyson, the greatest fighter on earth ever to be seen by humanity. We had Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the history of the word basketball ever spoken by anybody in humanity. And we had Michael Jackson, the most famous human being ever recorded in human history, and the greatest entertainer the world has ever known. Not one of, the greatest, the. Don't let them confuse that one of, because that sounds like a little thing that goes past, but that shit is being placed purposely by jealous ass white people. As I always tell you, when you tell me one of, that means there's more like that. I go to a showroom, I go, I love this Mercedes. Well, that's one of the ones we have. Okay, let me see the others. And then they take you and they show you the rose color, and they show you the black one, and they go show you the one with the whatever. One of, just one of. So if there's one of, then you should be able to produce and show me another one that was like that. And you don't, you can't, because there isn't. Fact. This was the atmosphere. We don't need to get into our Florence Griffith Joyners and our Jackie Joyner Kerseys and our Michael Johnson, and we don't need to. We've got so much greatness. We don't need to story it all. You understand? We don't need to. But this was the atmospherics. So this witch hunt began with Mike Tyson, and of course they always have demons. Their little minion demons circling these high-profile African people with a lot of money to slip things in your drink and say, here, this will help you feel better, and why don't you take this? You see, I'll just give you a quick story. Back in the 1990s, there I was in Atlanta, and before I left Los Angeles, I had wanted to meet. The universe kept telling me, you have to meet Jimmy Locust. You have to meet Jimmy Locust. I don't know why. You have to meet Jimmy Locust. Jimmy Locust is this little short guy that danced with my wife, Janet Jackson in Rhythm Nation. He's the little guy. If you look at the Rhythm Nation actual video, he's on your left in the front. Little short guy, Jimmy Locust. You can't miss him. Looks like a kid, but he's a grown man. You can also watch the long form version of the Miss You Much video. When they see Janet on camera, like some security camera or something, they go, here comes Janet. And then finally she comes in, she's hanging up her coat. And everybody goes, Janet, where have you been? Where have you been? She goes, you guys just getting in folks' business? Y'all so nosy? And then Jimmy is the one that has the line that says, you all, we have somebody very special. And she goes, Jimmy, you're so stupid. You know, that's Jimmy Locust. Well, for some reason, I was feeling like I was supposed to meet this guy. I was at the pinnacle of my career, so to speak, as a choreographer. And but I just felt like I'm supposed to meet Jimmy. So when I get to Atlanta, I was mentioning this to some people, some friends of mine. And one of my friends, Renee, said, hey, you know that guy that you were talking about named Jimmy? I go, yeah. He goes, he dances at this club we go to on Wednesday nights. I go, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. So sure enough, they took me to this place and there was Jimmy. And I almost ruined it because he had his back to me when I saw him. And I walked up and I said, excuse me, Jimmy? And he turned around and go, yeah. And I start doing the first 8 counts of Miss You Much. And then I was smiling like I'd done something amazing. He just looked at me and said, don't ever do that. It's a true story, everybody. Wallahi, I swear it. But he was very nice and very personable. And so fast forward, he ends up inviting me to his birthday party that was going to be at a place called Catfish Station in Ponce de Leon in Atlanta. He says, give me your number. I'll call you and give you all the information, because I was going to have one of those plastic laminates that you wear when you're in exclusive places. Anyways, went to the thing. At this particular time, turns out Jimmy is now the choreographer for the Atlanta Hawks cheerleaders and the Atlanta Hawks dance team. So at this party, which was a velvet rope affair, paparazzi, all that, there was a lot of the Atlanta Hawks people, executive, dancers, cheerleaders, players. It was. I'm not a sports person, so this was not like a heavenly thing for me. It was a great event, but I just enjoyed it as a great event. It had nothing to do with sports for me, because I'm not a sports fan at all. Like, at all. I don't care about sports. To me, it's anti-intellectual and it's a waste of time. And indeed designed to distract the masses away from intellectuality and things that are important. But nonetheless, a great event. But then I was invited to the after party. And why I mention that is because this was held at, like, I want to say it was like a museum, you guys. Like a museum. I just go with that for now. I don't want to make the story longer than I need to. But it was a nice place. But I mention it because there's this one area that it's like a step down, like a sunken living room almost, you know. And there was these beautiful leather couches and things that were in there. And I was sitting on one of like the leather chase lounges. And there was a coffee table next to me. Guy comes in with an attaché case, puts it on the table, opens it up, and it was literally like something out of a movie. Opens it up, there's a mirror, and he starts preparing the lines of cocaine right there in front of me and offered me some. I was like, no, I don't do that. I'm good. Thank you. But I was still like, this is the shit that's in the movies. Like, I can't even, you know. So I know how minions can be. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. And there's other examples that I could give you, but I know that in this world, in that world, things go on. And if you're somebody like Mike Tyson or anybody that comes from a lesser environment and you're not sophisticated, you're not eclectic, you're not sharp, um, a lot of things can go past you. It's very easy to rip somebody like Mike Tyson off. Certainly back there in the day. I think he's a different man now. But they scandalized him, and there was a witch hunt, and Mike Tyson was all things bad, you know. Then they sent him to prison, and he came out proclaiming himself to be a Muslim. Um, I don't know which Muslim, because Nation of Islam is not Muslims. They are not Muslims. God loved them. They're honorable people. May Allah have mercy on them. But they are not Muslims. And so I don't know if he is that or if he's actually a Muslim. But he also came out with one of the hardest tattoos anybody's ever worn on their body in the history of a tattoo. And over the years, I've seen a real growth in Mike Tyson. I don't know if he's on medication, because that's the other thing they do. They try and diagnose you with some shit, and then you start taking their psychotropic medications, not understanding that matters of the heart is something that somebody without a soul can't diagnose. You understand? And I argue they don't have a soul. So how you gonna medicate or diagnose my emotional anything, and I'm somebody with an actual soul? Do you understand? You can treat a bacterial infection. Maybe you can do something for a virus, a paper cut, the average cold. Oh my God, you've got heart disease, you've got high blood pressure, you've got cancer, you've got, hives or something. We can treat all of that. You've got glaucoma, we can do, cataract surgery on you. You've got an aneurysm, we can operate on that. But you're not diagnosing and medicating matters of the soul, the spirit. Do you understand? Don't give me this mental illness bullshit. Don't do it. Don't. So they claimed he was manic depressive. In fact, even Robin Givens, who he himself has said he wanted to punch her in her face when she sat up there when they had the Barbara Walters interview, and she was saying, Michael is a manic depressive. He's a manic depressive. She was like Candace Jones before, or Candace Owens before there was Candace Owens. They're the same woman, really. I think Candace is worse, certainly, but the energy we get from Candace Owens on First Pass is what Robin Givens was giving back in the day. Yeah. That overly articulate, can't ever lick her lips, just always pressing them, and chocolate woman, attractive, that whole thing, dude. Anyway, but Mike Tyson is risen now. He does homing pigeons for many years. He's been doing pigeons, and he is such a kind and thoughtful, but such a vulnerable man. Like he'll tell you anything. He has no embarrassment about being authentic, and I love that about him. There was a piece I saw a few years ago. He had some kind of stage presence. Like I feel like it was almost like a stand-up piece, but it wasn't comedy so much. It was more like a soliloquy play, if you will. And he's really engaging. Like, you don't want it to end. Ah, man, I'm so glad he's had a second pass, because I love Mike Tyson, man. He's on my very short list of people that I want to meet and just give him flowers from myself and just say, Mike, you're such a survivor, brother. You are such a survivor. And still a badass. Now, I laid all that and could lay more, but I'm not going to do it. I laid all that to say, this white devil, they already tried to scandalize Michael Jackson into the grave. Tell you he was one of after they murdered him. And want you to forget that he existed and trying to raise somebody white to replace his legacy and trying to make you forget he ever existed. That he literally owned half of Sony, the entire corporation. Anything with the name Sony on it, Michael Jackson owned half of it. He owned half of the artists you've ever seen walk up on a stage and accept an award for anything. The moment you hear them say, I'd like to thank Sony Music, boom. Michael Jackson, cha-ching, send a check to Michael. Cha-ching, send a check to Michael. You see what I'm saying? Michael was getting more checks than he could stand. That's why people don't notice. At last minute, Michael had checks that had come to my house. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? He was like, Jedi, I can't keep all this mail. Just let the I was like, Michael, fine. Just let the checks come to my house. Fine. I will take the checks. You feel what I'm saying? I was trying to help Michael out. You feel what I'm saying? For his sake. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help him out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do that for him. You see what I'm saying? That's what I do. You feel what I'm saying? And so they are systematically, then nature is taking some of our greats, many of our legends and so forth. But we cannot have Mike Tyson leave this world as the greatest heavyweight fighter that ever was. We simply cannot have this. Quick, get Jake Paul. So this is white people playing that same tired record I tell you they always play, and you still get your black ass up to dance. I don't know why. This is not new, everybody. This is not new. Know this. Hear me when I speak. This is now, let's try to make this white devil the greatest. You see, and to my understanding, he's not the type of fighter that Mike Tyson is. Doesn't he do some MMA or some bullshit? I don't know what he does, and I don't care. But Mike Tyson should not give him the privilege and the distinct high honor of being anywhere near him. Our greats have got to stop doing that. I even hate it when they would have like musical legends like Smokey Robinson, Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, any of those people as coaches on American Idol, or some white person they get to be on stage with Stevie or something. They're trying to associate themselves with us, like, see, we're as good as them, and they will never be as good as us. Because if that were true, then Allah would have gave them some of the gifts, and He has not. That means we're the only ones that possess it, and it is ours, and you are not in any way able to access this greatness. You cannot. You see? This is now, something is happening behind the scenes to try to do something to Mike Tyson, because he could flatten this guy with his thumb. You understand? He could flatten him. Mike Tyson is a beast. He is not to be played with. We've seen his power. It's destructive. You don't want to be in the crosshairs of Mike Tyson when he throws his blow. You don't want that. That's the worst place on earth you could be. This is not something you play with. And I suggest to you that they will do something to try to scandalize Mike. As I understand, this fight is supposed to take place on Friday. Let me let you hear this little vignette so you can hear the white devil doing all the talking. Michael doesn't have anything to say at all. At all. He's just got a couple words and that's it. And I haven't really heard him boasting so much about this. It's been very few words from him. Hear this now. And you may need to turn your volume up because these clips on here are just, I can't.
I'm not getting my shit bit off on Friday night, so I got my diamond spiked ear covers right there. He says he's gonna kill me. Is that what you're gonna do, Mike? Because I'm ready. I want that killer. I want the hardest match possible Friday night, and I want there to be no excuses from everyone at home when I knock him out. So is that what you're gonna bring, Homicidal?
I'm just ready. That's all I can say. I'm just ready.
I'm not getting my shit bit off.
And it starts over. That's all Mike had to say. I'm just ready. I'm just ready. You know? And it's interesting because, you know, a lot of our people gave Mike a lot of grief and teasing while ducking to make sure he was not within a 500-mile radius of their ass. They would tease about his lisp that he speaks with, you know. And I will say, as someone who has been on Earth long enough that I saw Mike Tyson come to be and lived through all of that, that lisp is very enchanting now. It's very familiar. It's like right up there for me with when you saw Michael Jackson with that glove. You went, damn it, that's Michael. That's ours. You know, that's Mike. There he is with them damn penny loafers on. That's Mike. There we go. But that's Mike though. You know. And so I feel that way about Mike Tyson's speaking pattern now. Like, damn it, that's Mike. Damn it, that's Mike Tyson. That's Mike. That's our dude. That's our brother. And so, because I know these people to be the devil, I don't trust that whatever kind of fight this is supposed to be, that it will be a fair one. You understand? Because as I always tell you, white people are always in competition with us, everybody. When you accept this and start acting on this knowledge, a whole nother expression of them will be revealed to you, and you will move differently in their society. It's always us and them with these people. Always us and them. Always. Always. Even when the little Justin Bieber bastard came out, who was brought to us sadly by Usher, who I raised, and I've gotten on Usher and told him, don't you ever bring some bullshit like this to us ever again, or we will have problems. Okay? I don't want to get into that. But then there he was being interviewed, this Justin Bieber person, who I usually couldn't say his name without vomiting profusely, but somehow I just mentioned it twice and I didn't vomit. So that's progress. But there he was being interviewed by some white whore. But all of them that interviewed him at the beginning were saying, you know, a lot of people are comparing you to Michael Jackson. And of course, I was airlifted to the nearest trauma center to be watched and put on an IV drip for 5.5 weeks. Every time I would hear that. All right, get the helicopter. He's going. Damn it, he's going to the trauma center. He's crashing. He's crashing. And I just thought, how is he like Michael? He sounds like a wounded animal. Michael Jackson had a pitch perfect tone, so no comparison there. All right, well, maybe there's something else that I'm not seeing. Well, we'll move on. Well, let's see. He's 3, and Michael Jackson's a grown-ass man. No comparison there. Well, let's just move on. Maybe I'll find something. I'm going to keep an open mind because that's what I do. And, let's see the music. Well, your music is some bullshit. And Michael's is highly produced and thought out and very deep and layered and touching and moving all around the earth. And yours is not. Not finding a comparison there. Well, we'll just move on. We'll just move on because I'm going to keep an open mind and maybe something mystical and magical will happen. Well, let's see. They're surrounding you with nothing but black dancers trying to give you black street cred. Another tired ass record that the White Devil plays continuously. That's got a crack in it. But yeah, you're not a dancer. And as an actual dance choreographer who has danced many hundreds of millions of hours and taught many hours of dance, you are some bullshit. So you're not a dancer. Meanwhile, the very word dance is synonymous with Michael Jackson. So just not understanding the comparison. Michael Jackson has many thousands of people screaming his name under the window of any hotel that he's known to be in. Many thousands of people just screaming his name. If he just shows his pinky finger, they scream and faint and fall out and have to be carried off to the nearest trauma center. Just not seeing that for you. But there they were, trying to say People are saying, comparing you to Michael Jackson. Nobody was. That when you hear that, that means white people are just pulling it out of their ass and trying to make it now a fact and installing it in the lexicon of the society. The sleeping sheep who will fall for any damn thing because they're pathetic. But I digress. So this is specious and evil. Mike Tyson should not allow him or any other demon near him. He should say, nope, I'm Mike Tyson. You are not. And it's beneath me to allow you to play in my face in any ring of any kind to do anything. I'm Mike Tyson. You see? Now, if some young black fighter wants to come up and challenge Mike, then do it. Iron sharpens iron. This is iron against a Dixie cup. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It shouldn't be allowed, but this is their attempt at a great white hope. You see? And the timing of it. Be watching very closely on the day of this fight, because this is supposed to be what's going to rule the headlines. There's too much money riding on this white devil for them not to do something nefarious to fix it. Mike Tyson is a man of a certain age, probably on his way out, if in the natural order of things. Let's find out how old Mike Tyson is. How old is Mike Tyson?
58 years old.
He's 58. All right, how old is this demon? How old is Jake Paul?
27 years old.
I just threw up in my mouth. That guy looks 50 right there, doesn't he? It says he's 27, everybody. I'll just ask the white whore again in case she threw up and vomited and didn't know what she was saying. Let's just ask her again. How old is Jake Paul?
Jake Paul is 27 years old.
I ask you now, type in the comments now, does that look like a 27-year-old? Or a 50-year-old? Huh? But I'm glad he's 27 because that proves my point. Not that I needed it. It buttresses my point. Why would they put a 27-year-old in the ring with Mike Tyson at 58, other than the reasons that I'm insinuating? Because everybody that's behind him, his people, his infrastructure, his business infrastructure, they got money riding on him. They don't want him seriously injured and his face flattened back to his medulla at 27. They're planning to get another 30 years out of him, at least 20. You see? You think they're going to screw up their investment? Think about it in business terms, everybody. Huh? Who drives a new Mercedes down their freeway in your town at 90 miles an hour as soon as you drive it out of the showroom? Who does it? Who does that? No, you practically have a police escort to your house. You see? With styrofoam on every side of the car, just in case. We don't know. And an umbrella in case a bird could do something. We don't know. We're taking precaution. But we're to believe now that a 27-year-old white demon in the prime of his career at 27 would go into the ring with a 58-year-old black legend, a destroyer, and not have some kind of guarantee that the fight's going to be fixed or he's going to win some type of way? Huh? Because they're not going to get any more mileage out of Mike Tyson at 58. They're not going to do it. And I don't think Mike Tyson needs the money. So I don't know why he would fall for this. But I see he doesn't know that these people are the devil. So he allows them in his orbit, in his personal life. I've seen it. And he thinks that everybody is the same. And he's bought into that fictional bullshit, sadly. I also would like to know how much money is he being paid for this. Well, let's just find out. Let's ask the white whore who thinks she knows everything. How much is Mike Tyson getting from the Jake Paul fight.
According to USA Today, neither Mike Tyson nor fight promoters have publicly revealed what Tyson's payday will be for the fight, but boxing industry experts have estimated Tyson could make somewhere in the range of $20 million.
Somewhere in the range of $20 million. That was kind of a number that I had floating in my mind. Should be less than 20 million. Not a penny less than 20 million. That's what he should take home after everything. You see? He should take home and put in his account 20 million. That's what he should put in his damn account. And why haven't they made it public? Why? That's suspicious, I would offer. So, I won't be able to see this because I'm sure it's probably on some pay-per-view something, some special something. I don't have cable. Unless there's clips online, I won't see it. But I'm sure I'll know the aftermath of it because that's going to be... that they're already gearing up for the aftermath. They've got a whole media infrastructure that they're writing the script now of how they're going to talk about Mike Tyson, how he's over the hill and why did he ever do this and we can't believe it and he shouldn't go on. You know, I hope that I'm wrong, everybody. I hope that I'm wrong, that he will do what I hope he does and he gets in there and flattens this guy in 2 seconds and then spits on the carcass and asks, why did they even ask me to do this? You know, and I hope he doesn't go light on him because he's a 27. Well, he's 27, but I'm telling you, that looks like a 50-year-old dude in my face right there. Like, stop playing in my face. The dude looks 50. I'm over it. Like, what is 27 for these people? Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. But this is suspicious, and I suggest to you that this is an attempt at the Great White Hope. Let me find out, how old was Mike Tyson when he had his first professional fight? Because he did an Olympic thing. I don't want to count that one. How old was Mike Tyson when he won his first professional fight? At what age did Mike Tyson become heavyweight champion?
According to USA Today, when did Tyson become champion? His first heavyweight title came after a second-round TKO victory over Trevor Berbick, earning him the WBC title and making him the youngest champion, 20 years, 4 months, in history. To this day, he is still the youngest person ever to hold a heavyweight title.
See that? To this day, he's still the youngest person to hold a heavyweight title, and he was 20 years old and 4 months. Thank you, White Whore, for the detail. Appreciate you. So, mind what I have said to you, and we will see what happens on Friday. The Jedi has spoken.